You listen to Wrestling Tracks. Yo, listen there, Wrestling Tracks. Black City, yeah, we flip like a Mac. Flip, mic check, 1, 2, breaking it back. Talk, rope, talk, yeah, we lay with the facts. Podcast ring, yeah, we ran in the pack. Tag team flow, triple threat on the track. Gold belt shine, put the show on the map. Podcast kings, no cap in the chat. Turnbuckle talk, bring the pain, that's a rap. In the pool like I'm walking the ramp. Pyro go boom, crowd chant, it's a stamp. Host Lee Houston, he calling the camp. Breaking down angles, no gimmick, just stamp. Real wrong vibes, 30 men deep. Elbow drop, knowledge, put the doubters to sleep. Hot tag moment when the convo leak. Mic skill sharper than the ladder man's peak. Spin like a tornado DDT. Spin, analyze the finish, who booked the feet. From curtain jerk up to the main event seat. We dissect promo like mania event. Suplex City, yeah, we flip.
Everybody, welcome to Wrestling Tracks. I'm Lee Houston. We gotta work on that. Work on that audio, man, because I gotta improve the lyrics or something. But anyway, David Bird's in the house. How you doing? We are on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Wrestlemania. We're gonna make a pit stop tonight at Madison Square Garden in New York City.
We got a huge tag team title match. The irresistible forces will travel to Bailey and Ryder Valkyria. CM Punk will be in the house. Roman Reigns will be in the house. The Raw Tag Team titles are on the line in a street fight. The Usos will battle the Vismen. So we got 2 title matches.
Yeah, it's going down, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on a second. Now, before we get to all that, I'm gonna just go ahead and call it. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna call it for right now. Obafemi beats the shit out of Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's my opinion. Brock Lesnar, Obafemi, who you got?
I'll probably say Lesnar.
Ooh. That's a possibility. Possibility, excuse me. That's a possibility, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna say, of course, for the World Championship. Toss up. Maybe. CM Punk said, screw all that. I'm leaving my title. But then of course you have what everybody don't want, but deep down you really want it because you miss it. Roman Reigns wins the World Championship.
I wouldn't mind seeing Roman win the belt. I would love to see Randy be champion again.
And Randy Orton would take on Cody Rhodes for the World Championship, for the WWE Championship. Excuse the background there. And people forgot. People either forgot or these new school, these young crop of fans nowadays, they see Randy Orton and Randy Orton's cool, Randy Orton's great, all that stuff. And they have no idea the 2009 Randy Orton that couldn't give a damn.
Yeah, he even RKO'd his friend too.
And everybody like, how can he do that? How can he RKO his friend? How can he do it to his friend? I'm like, I keep saying this all the time. You in some way, shape, or form, you dealt with snakes. You've seen snakes. Have you ever known a snake to be friendly?
That is a huge fact. You did say you could RKO his own grandmother and be champion again.
Now, a snake can be non-venomous, but that never mean he was a friend.
Randy should be champion again. It's been a long time.
It's that Randy Orton will be closer to the elite. He'll be a 15-time world champion if he wins this match. He'll be one step closer to a 16th world championship. Only held by two people, Ric Flair and John Cena. And of course, John Cena shatters Ric Flair's record as a 17-time world champion. And like we said time and time again, it's better to be a longest reigning champion than a certain amount of number champion.
I agree.
Because, like, as prestigious as Ric Flair being the 16-time world champion is, and that's wonderful, that's prestigious, that's great on paper. In reality, he's also lost it 16 times.
That was the best damn line jumping in for a Saturday night's main event.
Let's say again?
I said that was the best line from that episode of Saturday night's main event. Jesse Ventura was like, "Well, I'm celebrating. We're celebrating champion 16 times. If he's won it 16 times, and that means he's lost it 16 times. So, wow, you're going to celebrate the time of that." I mean, 17 times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, Jesse's the man.
Yeah.
And I like Jesse Ventura. I don't want to hear it, but he said one of the most outrageous things I ever heard him say over the weekend, saying Donald Trump faked his assassination attempt. I was like, this dude is lost his mind.
Well, we're not going to get political here just yet, but I'll tell you this.
It's not political. It's still wrestling related.
Shit, Donald Trump is a Hall of Famer. Okay.
Speaking of Hall of Famers, two more names were announced this past weekend. Psycho Sid and Bad News Brown. And this is the first time since 2004 that they're inducting more than one person that passed away. Because normally they always put one person a year that passed.
Mm-hmm. Everybody, all the Hall of Fame critics, we have like, well, how come they weren't Hall of Fame when they was alive? How come they're always posthumous? How come well, this and that? First of all, there's a lot of factors in that. It's the family. The family can say no. The family can say yes. The rest of them themselves when they were alive. For example, I know for a fact Sabu have nothing to do with the Hall of Fame.
He wasn't interested. He really didn't care.
And then I remember very clearly Sabu said, "Fuck the Hall of Fame." That's right. He said it.
Like that.
He said, Sabu said, "Fuck the Hall of Fame."
Yeah, and then turns around 2 years later and said, "You know, if I need the money, I would probably take it. It would mean something."
Mm. Mm. And
I mean, don't get me wrong. I get it. People say stuff and then change their minds over time. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But don't sit on something and then turn around and end up doing it. After you've been talking about it for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, look at Bruno Sammartino. Trashed the Hall of Fame for years. Then he goes into the damn thing. Warrior. Trashed the Hall of Fame for years. Goes into the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Honky Talk Man, I remember he trashed it twice. Goes into the damn thing.
Yeah.
But you know, at the same time, those guys are just bitter and old.
And by the way, for all the new folks, unlike regular Hall of Fames that have physical locations, we at WWE celebrate the career of the particular wrestler and all that they did for the company. So our Hall of Fame is a little bit different.
And you know, they've been talking about building a physical building for years, and it just never got around to doing it. They have a massive warehouse full of memorabilia stored And they can use that memorabilia and put that into a physical building.
Yeah, they could.
But for whatever reason, they just haven't done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But they did make 2 performance centers. They have one in the UK and, of course, the one in Orlando, Florida, in the US.
The UK, man. They're supposed to. They shut down NXT UK because it's supposed to rebrand it as NXT Europe, and they never got around to doing it.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be NXT Europe, and that's why they shut down NXT UK, which was great, and then they shut it down to include all of Europe, and it never materialized. It was right when COVID let up.
Because I heard the story and it was revealed to be a little bit true, is that they were looking for somebody and they found somebody in mind to run NXT over there. Because Triple H can't do all of that by himself. That's just too much.
Oh, yeah.
So the idea was to have at least 1 to 2 people run that area of NXT UK. And for whatever reason, the people or the person they had in mind, they said they were going to do it, and then at the last minute decided not to. Then Triple H was like, you know what, maybe I'll just do the whole damn thing myself. And he already has a lot on his plate as it is, so I guess that's kind of what killed it off.
Yeah. NXT.
I know some of that story I just told you is true. Some of it.
NXT Europe never got off the ground. It was just an idea that just died.
Absolutely.
It would have been very interesting. Instead of just Britain, instead of just different parts of the UK, they get to focus on all of Europe, like Italy, like y'all forgive me, it's been a while since my geography will throw it off here. Asia, Italy, Asia's not Europe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get my point.
Yeah.
But that never came to be.
It could have been so much more of a conflict.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully this year in the Hall of Fame, it will be it won't be too long, because last time was long as hell.
Yeah.
I can count the hour. What do you call it? It was long as hell. Like what, 3-4 hours?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it was longer than that.
Well, damn.
Oh. I remember those UK takeovers. Those shows were longer than the actual NXT shows. And the reason why is because, one, they didn't have too many matches. They always had 5 or 6 matches. Occasionally, they'll have 7. And those matches would run at least 25 to 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes long. Mm-hmm. So let's say, for example, you got 6 matches, and 3 out of the 6 matches are over 40 minutes long. So that could be a long show.
I'll talk about Hall of Fame, but yeah.
It's doable.
Yeah.
But when you got matches when you got 3 or 4 matches that go over in half an hour or over 40 minutes, it will add up and make the show longer. And what about WrestleMania 37? That was a long WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Nah. None of them was longer than WrestleMania 35. That was long as hell.
No. You argued WrestleMania 37 to pass because if you remember, it rained and they had a rain delay. Mm-hmm. And they waited to see if the rain was going to stop, and they continued the show. And remember, they sat there for an hour. Mm-hmm. They didn't put on no matches. They had everybody in what's those things, ponchos, and they're talking about the show and they're talking about the matches. And Michael Cole must have said 38 times, "Oh, we're hoping that it stops," and all of this and that and the third.
Well, I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to all that, hopefully this year's Hall of Fame ceremony will be shorter than the previous one, last year, I believe. That was long as hell, as I meant to say earlier. And we're on the street. John Cena will host WrestleMania this year.
Yep.
I might break out my WrestleMania collector's cup.
And he's also been scheduled to appear for the next Saturday night's main event in May. But of course, that has yet to be confirmed by the WWE themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The arena that's hosting Saturday night's main event in May made that announcement. But WWE themselves has yet to confirm. But is that true? John Cena will in fact be on Saturday night's main event in May. And it was announced that the next Saturday night's main event after May will take place in July. Of course, for those who don't know, they're going to do 4 Saturday night main events a year. And they will air on Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, the last one they did was back in January. They got 3 more to go. So we know the next 2 will be in May and July.
Well,
One in July will be before SummerSlam.
in the meantime, across the street, AEW, their next pay-per-view, I believe, let's see. What's the next pay-per-view?
I think Dynasty is the next one.
Let's see here. Yeah, AEW Dynasty. At the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. April 12th. I have the card for that right here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Mm-hmm. All right. So far, we got FTR will take on Copeland Cage, Adam Copeland, Christian Cage for the World Tag Team Championships. John Moxley will take on Will Ospreay. MJF will take on Kenny Omega for the World Championship. And that's it for as far as that's concerned. Hang on, man. You sound a little slow over there, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, I'm looking at something while you're doing this. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's it so far. I thought they would have more matches by now, but I'm sure by Wednesday they'll add some more matches, and Saturday on Collision, of course.
Mm-hmm. Now, I found, like I said last time, I found there's a hack you can use if you gotta be quick about it. AEW, my AEW, you can't subscribe with the UPN. Is the thing. You gotta be quick about it. No, I'm sorry. That's the network. The network take you straight to Peacock. But you can't subscribe to my AEW with a VPN. It's risky, huh?
Well, Let's not forget the WWE Network still does exist as a standalone app in certain places.
Yeah, I'm talking about here in the States.
Technically still do it.
Yeah, here in the States, you got well, first of all, you got to change the location. You're gonna use it here. So you take a VPN, change your location in the VPN, and you can go on WWE Network. If you remember your password, you log in. It's been a long time. You remember your login, your password, boom.
For those who have issues with, I don't care what you have, whether it be an email password or you have a streaming account, whether it be Netflix or Amazon Prime, here's a good trick, because I know a lot of people have this issue when they log into things and they forget their passwords. So here's a good trick. Create one password and use the same password for all your apps or emails. That way it's easy to remember. And trust me, it works.
Yes, sir. And
when you have a different password for every single thing you have, it's not easy to remember unless you write it down. But you can write it down and end up losing it. So to avoid that, have all your passwords be the same for everything.
Yeah.
And believe me, it works.
With my AEW, it's risky now. Because if you're going to use the United States, it's really designed for international market. It's not designed for the States. If you were to use a VPN in the States and go to my AEW, you can use VPNs to subscribe. It's risky.
Yep.
You got $20 to waste, $10, $20 to waste. Go for it. But it's risky. It's not meant for the States.
I think that's better than having HBO Max.
Yes.
And spending an extra $30 to watch AEW pay-per-views on top of you paying your monthly HBO Max bill. So let's say, for example, you're paying $10 a month just to have the service itself, and then you got to pay an extra $30 to watch an AEW pay-per-view, and then you're doing that every month. All that money adds up.
Mm-hmm. I've had to skip some AEW pay-per-views and use the old school streaming service.
The thing is, too, I almost forgot that AEW, they have pay-per-views every month now. Remember, when it started, they didn't have pay-per-views every month.
Mm-hmm.
They only had like maybe 5 or 6 pay-per-views a year. Now they have one every month.
I had to go old school, use some streaming sites.
And this is before they got on streaming.
Yeah. Listen, I had to go old school, use some streaming sites. And those suck sometimes. In fact, all of you guys who got streaming sites, some of y'all suck. Okay? Every last one of y'all, you suck.
I agree.
You need to work on that or shut it down. If you operate a streaming site, I go on your streaming site to watch the pay-per-view. Everybody can afford pay-per-view. I gotta do all this shit, all these pop-ups to watch the damn pay-per-view. Just shut it down.
I got a question. What device you watch those pay-per-views on from those sites?
Say again?
What device you use to watch the pay-per-views from those sites?
Sometimes my iPad, sometimes my tablet. I try not to use my phone.
Oh, I was going to say that because sometimes certain devices will work better than other devices to watch it on.
Yeah.
Like, occasionally my laptop will work, and occasionally it won't, and then I'll switch from my phone. So occasionally my phone will work, and it'll work just fine. Like, I won't get no pop-ups, no skips, or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But occasionally it will happen. I gotta switch from my phone to my laptop. It is annoying, but in some cases, Some devices do work better than others. So try that for some of you listening. Yeah. It's annoying, but sometimes it helps because you're going to be real annoyed if you just stay on one device. For example, let's say you have a tablet and you watch everything in your tablet and it keeps messing up. Try watching it on a different device. So if you have a laptop or a desktop, try it.
And I can't stand when I want to watch it. Let's say, like, if you watch it, try to watch it live. There's some parts you can watch, some places you can watch it live, some places you can watch it in parts. So I try to wait till the next day. And if something's not available the next day, they take it down or it's not available. What the fuck?
Well, I prefer watching it the next day because it doesn't mess up. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I won't even watch it live. I'll just wait for the next day because at least I know it won't mess up. You'll get pop-ups, but it won't mess up.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it get pop-ups than not mess up.
Check that out if you can't afford pay-per-view. And of course, if you're in the Vegas area, April 18th and 19th, there are plenty of spots to check out. If the prices ain't, well, it's gonna be high as hell wherever you go. But if you got it like that and you can't afford a ticket,
I have to tell you something.
Hang on one second. If you got it like that and you can't afford a ticket,
are they showing the pay-per-view at the WWE World Store they're opening in Vegas for the weekend?
Yeah, that's probably expensive as hell.
Well, I know that's an option.
Yeah, that's true.
For those who don't know, WWE rented out a big building, Wrestlemania weekend, called WWE World. It's an actual WWE store, and it will only be around Wrestlemania weekend. You'll be able to watch Wrestlemania for a fee, of course, and you'll also be able to meet legends and Hall of Famers, pick up some merch. There's going to be a ton of people there signing autographs. I'm going to read some of the names that's already been announced. I do not know exactly what days these wrestlers are going to be there, so you're going to have to look it up yourself. But so far, these are the names that are scheduled to appear at the store with WrestleMania weekend, and you're going to have to find what day they're going to be there, because they're not going to be there on all days. So the list reads as follows: Paul Heyman, The Undertaker, Dennis Rodman, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Usos, Jacob Fatu, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquero, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Theo Punk, Kevin Owens, Natalia, Booker T, The Miz, Dan Housen.
Very nice.
Yep. And Roman Reigns.
Danhausen probably paid his way to be on that list, bro.
Hell, he might be the cheapest one.
Bro. I'll be shocked as hell if a crowd comes just to see Danhausen. Bruh.
Now, I know they're supposed to announce more names this week who's going to be scheduled to be there. Like, again, they haven't announced what days they're going to appear, so you got to look for that.
The funniest shit I ever heard.
Because it's 3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So each day is going to have a group of wrestlers. So let's say, for example, you want to meet The Undertaker, but The Undertaker's only there one day, and let's say it's Friday. So if you want to meet The Undertaker, you got to go on Friday. Another example is if you want to meet Stone Cold, and he's only going to be there Saturday, then you have to go on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. The funniest shit I ever heard in my life is Danhausen call himself a legend. Bro, you just got here.
Well, they said legends, superstars, and Hall of Famers.
No, like a while ago, I saw a video somewhere. Then how to call himself a legend. You just got here. What you mean? What you mean legend? You just got here. Anyway,
you know what? This is my opinion, and I think this is the truth. I think the only reason they signed him is because he's friends with CM Punk, and I think they did that as a favor to Punk. And you know what? To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me because they've done that in the past. So I honestly think that's what happened.
He better pay off big time.
Yeah, so I think the only reason they signed him was a favor to Punk because him and Punk are friends. And to be honest, CM Punk doesn't have a lot of friends in the wrestling business. A lot of the friends he had, he's no longer friends with. So he only has a handful of people he's friends with less. That's in the actual business.
By the way, if you're in Vegas, here's the places you can check out in Vegas. There's downtown at the Downtown Slam, the Civic Center Plaza, the Dropkick Disco at the center. Inside with Chris Villette.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Midget Wrestling at the Nerd at 9:30. That's on Thursday. Friday, Wrestling Observer Live. Another midget wrestling show at 9:30. 12 o'clock. I'm not pronouncing this. I'm going to try. That's Friday. Then Saturday, watch party at 3 p.m. at Circa at Stadium Swim. At 3 p.m. Open bar watch party. So many watch parties in the house. You got all the different areas you can go to if you can't afford to get a ticket in. You got watch parties galore, man. I said galore. It's been a while. I never heard the word galore, but it's been a while. You got all these watch parties you can go to. T-Mobile Arena. A live tape SmackDown and a live Raw. The reason why SmackDown is taped because the Hall of Fame will be airing live.
Yep. And of course, the Hall of Fame will be after SmackDown.
They're gonna take SmackDown. They're gonna wrestle. Yeah, go in the bag, clean up, suit, dress, all that shit. You go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and it won't be in the same venue.
That's a lot of work.
That's why they're taping SmackDown 2 hours earlier.
Then of course, Allegiance.
You need to stop doing Wrestlemania 2 nights because it's making everybody else more tired.
I feel you on that, but at the same time, the people that you don't see on night 1, you can see on night 2. If you don't get enough time.
The only good thing about Wrestlemania being 2 nights is more people have an opportunity to get on the show.
Yeah, I just said that.
People have an opportunity to main event the show.
I know, I just said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it seems like if your name ain't Roman Reigns, you're not guaranteed to be on last. Like those last 2 WrestleManias, he didn't need to be on last. That could have went to somebody else. So they're wasting opportunities at the same time.
I'm going to tell you a little secret right here. When you come on last, that's actually the sweet spot right there. You can do a lot of shit till then. You can do a lot of stuff. You go out to eat, okay? Let's say show into like 10, 11 o'clock. You come on the very last match, 10, 11 o'clock, right? You go out to eat, have your food delivered to your hotel room, to your locker room. Take a little nap. Have somebody knock on your door when it's time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they do. I'm not saying they don't. That's a possibility.
Well, WrestleMania is huge. Like, just being on the card itself is a big deal, but being on live, it's bigger.
And a huge payday. Everybody. The winner, the loser, the referee, the announcers, the commentators, everybody get paid. Extra.
Yep. And we are close to Raw going on the air in a couple of minutes.
So we're gonna be at MSG Madison Square Garden in just a little bit.
Yeah, technically the show's already started. They're about to put on a pre-show match before going live on the air.
Yes.
And unfortunately, this is where we are about to cut out.
Yeah, I want to appreciate David.
We are going to be watching Raw just like the rest of you guys, and we are going to prepare ourselves for what happens on Raw.
I want to appreciate David Burke for being on the show with me tonight. Sorry about the hiccups here and there. We'll see you guys next week, everybody.
Everybody be safe and be careful. Peace.
This episode is brought to you by Backup Deliveries and More, LLC. They put the D in delivery. Call 888-871-BACKUP. That's 800-8-712-2587 or 817-204-7259. Visit WeGotBackup.com or find them on Facebook. You can save a whole lot of money with their services. And here's great news. They're in need of drivers. If you have a CDL license, contact them today and get paid.
Thank you, everybody, for your time here tonight. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. You listen to Wrestling Tracks. Yo, listen to Wrestling Next. Black City, yeah, we flip like a Mac. Flip, mic check, 1, 2, breaking it back. Talk, rope talk, yeah, we live with the facts. Podcast ring, yeah, we ran in the pack. Tag team flow, triple threat on the track. Gold belt shine, put the show on the map. Podcast kings, no cap in the chat. Turnbuckle talk, bring the pain, that's a rap. In the bull like I'm walking the ramp. Pyro go boom, crowd chant, it's a stamp. Host Lee Houston, he calling the camp. Breaking down angles, no gimmick, just stamp. Real Rumble vibes, 30 men deep. Elbow drop, knowledge, put the doubters to sleep. Hot tag moment when the convo leap. Mike skills sharper than the ladder man.